Hello, my Cancer Collective. This is Zaida Velgara from Becoming I Am here with your reading for April 2026. All of a sudden, I want to say March 2025. I don't know why. Maybe there's a link for you guys on that. Like, maybe this reading has something to do with something that happened in March 2025, but I wanted to say March 2025. Anyways, thank you for being here. Just a 411 of how things kind of roll here. I like to start with astrology. I pick 4 events of the year that will strongly impact the collective, and I'm going to see how it affects you. So I have some oracle decks here that I will be looking at for those 4 events. And then from there, I have um, I pull out regular tarot. So yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden, I'm feeling like I have to pause or something in your reading, but okay, let's go from there. I hope you guys like the new camera. I'm trying out something new and see if it works because I've been having a lot of issues with the old one. It's a lot bigger, the screen. So that being said, Mars enters Aries April 9th. Why is this important? This is the butterfly coming out of the cocoon. This is the warrior done with the training period and ready to go out to fight. This is the energy where if you feel like you have to do something, you do it. If you dream about doing something, you actually start making it happen. Or if you have this need to heal something within you, you initiate that healing process. So, because of that, I decided I'm going to be using my oracle deck that has to do with my chakras to find out how it's going to be playing out in your life, my Cancers. Okay, so what do we have to tell Cancers about this Mars and Aries energy? Okay, so we have grief, and it's a green card. Okay, um, green is a depiction of the heart chakra and grief. Mostly, when people think about grief, they're thinking about the death of a loved one, and this can also be a fur baby. Okay, but grief can mean many different things, like grief of your independence that you no longer are going to be able to be like independent because now you have um, a child you have to take care of, or now you took on the responsibility of a job and you used to live at home and not have any responsibilities. This can be the grief of a childhood you didn't have and that you're still mourning because you felt like it should have been different. This can be a grief of a relationship that didn't work out the way that you needed it to do. But it's talking about April being the month where you free your heart from something that has been weighing heavy on you. And I feel the thing is that it weighing so heavy on you that you haven't even processed the fact that it was weighing so heavy on you. This weighing so heavy on you created a situation where you were like in a freeze. In other words, I feel like very much hangman energy on this, like you were stuck in limbo for a while because you didn't realize that maybe your excessive tiredness, your excessive, like, when we get like brain fog and then we forget things and stuff, it's all a stress response that you were experiencing. And now, oh, and procrastination, they're telling me, easily distracted with other things. That energy, this is why I was feeling that now that I'm talking about it. Like I felt like I needed to take a pause. Like I'm not sure if I should start this reading or whatever. And that's kind of like the energy that you were kind of stuck in limbo in. And it's because you were still processing some grief. You were stuck in limbo. So that is something that's going to start processing out of you with this activation of Mars in Aries. The next thing that we're seeing is the new moon in Aries, and that will be in April 17th. Why is this so important? Not just the new moon being in Aries, okay? But there's also the sun in Aries. So the moon and the sun are in Aries. Neptune is in Aries. Saturn is in Aries. Mars is in Aries, and Mercury is in Aries. That is 6 signs in the sign of Aries. When there's 6 signs in the sign of Aries, this is talking about a lot of energy pushing something through. All right. Again, if you guys want to know like how and where this is going to be affecting you, I would recommend you seeing your birth chart and seeing what house your Aries placement is in to know how this is going to be strongly impacting. Now, this is a great manifestation energy, so I would recommend for you guys to do something that can manifest something into your realities. Just keep in mind that because there are six, vamos a decir, star constellations, star bodies aligned with Aries, there's a lot of fire behind it. So it is going to be, it's going to happen with a bang, and it's going to happen very, very strongly. So if you do not want it to be too strong, be mindful of what it is that you're requesting. Okay. So that's one thing that I would like you to keep in mind. And I'm going to see how this is going to affect you personally, my Cancers. I like to shuffle it one more time, even though like I make sure that the cards don't fall in the same spot just in case. Oh, that was quick. Prosperity lies again, and this is the energy of Taurus. So let me see if it focuses here. Más o menos. It says the prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. Um, and that's ironic because the next thing we're going to be talking about is Taurus energy and Taurus season. But do you see how it's so green? This is like so much green. This is an activation of your heart space. Because some kind of grief leaves your heart space, but it does feel like you're going to take the bull by its horn and actually move yourself instead of being stuck in this limbo for so long. The third thing we're going to look into is the sun in Taurus. It starts on April 20th. This is grounded change, right? Like where you had passion and drive and anger and impulses to be able to create the change. Now we're in this energy of, okay, let's shift in gears and let's move into what practically I can do in my 3D reality to make this thing happen. So let's see. You two flew out. The first one that I have is the tree. Let them go. So definitely is something that you're releasing. Again, this is coming back to that energy of the grief where you release something from your heart chakra, and then dragons slay them all. And so I feel like just that, wait a second, I'm being told something. And just that energy of the tree and the dragon feels like the beginning of the month where you're kind of like releasing and releasing. And as you release, oh, what happened? Okay, that was freaking weird. The camera just turned off. I checked all the connections and everything, and it just turned off. Huh. I think that has something to do with your reading, because I just finished hearing this. I mean, finished telling you that the tree is like letting go of something, right? So it's kind of going back to that letting go of the grief and opening your heart chakra. But then the dragon is like, slay them all. It's time for me to take action on the things that I've been procrastinating because of the fact that I have been stuck in limbo, right? If you're grieving, you're not going to want to take care of business. And this is taking care of business because now it's over, right? But the camera went out. So it's like, it's interesting because I was talking about letting something go. And it feels like this energy of turning something off. Turning something off. Turning a blind eye is what I'm hearing. Turning a blind eye to a situation that you're no longer going to be turning a blind eye to, and you're actually going to pay attention to. You're going to be like, oh, I got to do something about this now. This is such a weird reading. There's so many weird, glitchy things that are happening. Just a side note, I wanted to look up what 186 is because it come out here and it says, take time to review your current situation before making any change, life-changing decisions. Patience and focus is required. And see, this goes back to, here's that. Let me see if I can put it closer so you can see it. No, of course not. It's not going to focus. Oh, you're going to have to believe me. Anyway, um, This is going to be my backup camera. When my other camera gets fixed up, I'm going to put it back because I like the other one being able to focus on things better. So, what I'm seeing here is this energy of you haven't had the energy, the patience, the focus to be able to deal with a situation. You've been turned off and you've ignored it for a very long period of time. And I feel like now that the grieving process is kind of over and that you're releasing something, I think it's time that you're going to open your eyes to a situation that you haven't wanted to really pay attention to, and you're actually going to take responsibility and action on something. I would advise that you take it slow because still, even though we've done processing a grieving situation, there's still some hurt feelings or some emotions that might be backed up into it. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to look into is Uranus entering Gemini. This is on April 25th, and it will continue to May 22nd, 2033. So this is a very, very long period of time of this energy. We had somewhat of a glimpse in it in the summer of last year. Oh, maybe that's why I said March. So in the summer of last year, it's this energy of um, activism, of provocation, of change. I want this to change. I want to change now. And it's like, I don't care the price I have to take, but I'm going to change the situation. That's what this energy is all about. So, because of that, I picked two different decks for that because it's going to be pretty big. And I want to see how it's going to affect you, my Cancers. So, the first thing that comes out is security. Let's see. Come on. We got this. We got this. There it goes. Security. And I'm trying to look at this card at security because it's like a cave, and it's like, where they have cave drawings in, and that's for safety. But this also connects to like ancestors, and it feels like ancestors in the earth plane, but it also feels like ancestors in the stars because there's a galaxy up on the top. So security that comes from finally connecting to your ancestors in your line. Look, and this number 31 and omens. I definitely feel like somebody is going to finally start connecting to what helps them. Is the best way to explain it. Kind of like to what helps you. It doesn't, I don't know if it's um spiritual team that comes from the stars or spiritual teams that comes from the earth plane and all the different lifetimes you've lived here and all your ancestors, but it does feel like spiritual teams, you guys. So if I'm looking at this, I'm feeling like there's going to be more, you're going to start a period of your life where you're going to be more open to signs and synchronicities, to being led instead of trying to move everything yourself. Some gift that you have that was lost. That's what's being awakened. Okay, finally, let's do the tarot. Okay, we have the Two of Wands, the Justice, the World card in reverse, the King of Swords in reverse, the Ten of Wands upright, and the Four of Wands. In the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles. I can tell you as I'm looking at this, I'm feeling like an end of a cycle. So if we're going to hear, do you see how this one, the stick that he's not going for, is actually fastened to the fortress? And this one is set free, and there's a world card there. I feel like for a long time, the decisions you made were anchored in belief systems or structures that were like normal for you. right? It's what your family did, it's what you did, it's what the world told you you had to do. But it was very, very much a stagnant energy. Like you were only going to get to a certain point, you weren't going to advance way past it because you were stuck in a stagnant energy because of the stick being stuck there. And with the justice card right after it, it feels like you're starting to notice the imbalance that is caused by this situation, right? Um, this can be something so big as like getting tired of doing the 9 to 5, right? And noticing that there can be other options. Or this can be something so simple like um, always having your own car and deciding now that you would probably prefer public transportation. One of those things. So it's definitely something that seemed to create like a routine, and you just were stuck in the same energy over and over and over again. And it wasn't any kind of movement in it. But it is what was expected of you. And you're starting to notice how out of balance that is. And you're wanting to get out of that cycle. We have the King of Swords in reverse and the Ten of Wands. The reason why you want to get out of that cycle is because you're starting to realize that it's not fair. Like it's like you're putting in more than what you're receiving, whatever the situation is. And it's weighing heavy on you. And you want to spend more time, I want to say, at home. You want to spend more time with your loved ones. You want to feel like that joy of being in a new place that feels more rewarding to you. In other words, you want balance. You want the energy of like that you're receiving equal to what you're giving. And right now, you're giving more than you're receiving in whatever situation this is, and you feel stagnant. You're not moving, and that's what's making you frustrated. So, the action that you're going to take with the Ace of Wands is to move away from this situation into something that's more prosperous with the Empress energy. So, I'm seeing you with the Three of Wands, kind of opening your eyes to what new potentials are out there. And one of the things that I'm seeing here is that that wall that has been blocking your movement forward is going to end and you will have victory. I you know, when I'm looking at this doesn't really feel love wise. This feels like career wise. As I'm looking at this reading, Cancer, this feels more career wise where um you've been saddened or held back or limited or feeling frustrated at a job because it doesn't matter what you do to prove your worth, your value, whatever, they don't give you opportunities or growth. Or this can be a relationship where it doesn't matter how much you give in a relationship, that other partner or that other situation doesn't see your worth and value. And this whole time you've been going through a process of grieving. You might have been doing things to make things better, blah, blah, blah. But you've been going through a process of grieving because of the fact that you feel like it doesn't matter what you do, it's always going to end up the same. Like this person or the situation will not see your worth of value, will not appreciate you. And I feel like when it's saying you're going to let it go and then you're going to slay them, I'm feeling like this is an energy of releasing that expectation that you had from that situation and then deciding, hey, I think it's time for me to take the bulls by their horns and go in a different direction. I think it's going to be good for you. Let me actually see. Hold on. Will this be good for them? We have the star card, which I'm not going to show you close because the lady's naked. So that means your wish will be granted. I do feel like it will be positive for you. But I'm not going to say it's not going to be hard. Will it be hard? Look at that. The Hermit card. The Hermit card is talking about walking into the darkness and looking in with all the insecurities you might have inside of you. So I do know it's going to be hard, but it's more hard because it's outside of your norm and more hard because you're a Cancer, and Cancers are really good at creating really strong foundations in which and relationships that form their feeling of security. And what's going to make it hard is having to create that all over again, right? So I do see very good changes. So I encourage you to do what your heart is calling you to do, okay? I hope this helps.